There we go. So now I'm recording. Then you can also go to the Learn page, okay? And there are instructional tutorials to kind of help you, right? Good. So let's go back to the Create page. Okay. So let's go ahead and just start a drawing. Okay, we're going to start a drawing. Hopefully we're all on the same page now. Okay, we can start a drawing here. Good. Now, I already had a drawing. Already had drawing 1. So when I started a drawing, it created drawing 2 here. See that? So all of your drawings that you have open in a particular session of AutoCAD will be denoted by these tabs. Each time you start a drawing, it's going to create a new tab here. New tab, new tab, new tab, okay? And then you can toggle between those drawings, right? So if I wanted to go to drawing 1, I toggle to drawing 1 out. Okay, if I want to go to drawing 2, I'll toggle to drawing 2. Cool. So let me just illustrate that. Let me just okay. I'm gonna that's all right. That's all right. I won't do that. Okay. All right. So you can toggle between drawings by selecting the various tabs here, and you can have numerous tabs, numerous drawings open in a particular section of AutoCAD. So let's go to the home home ribbon here, and let's expand that home ribbon. Good. And I'm sure as you learned from watching the AutoCAD interface, that is video, okay, we know that this is called the ribbon here, okay, the ribbon, of course, okay, and this is the home ribbon, which contains drawing tools, okay, modify tools, annotation tools. Okay, of course, this is my home tab, and this is my drawer panel. Okay, it allows me to draw lines, circles, polylines, whatever. And of course, whenever you see an arrow pointing downward, okay, that's a drop-down list, which gives you more options. Okay, good. So when you select it like this, okay, good, good. And let's say when I move my cursor away, it retracts, right? But if I didn't want it to retract, okay, and I wanted to stay there for a moment, I could actually pin it in place like this. See this little pin right there? Good. So I can pin it in place. So now I can take my time and decide what extended icon I wanted to use. So I'm going to unpin that. Okay. Good. So this is my draw tools, my modify tools, again, my annotation tools, layers, blocks, properties, groups, utilities, clipboard view. We're not going to be touching a lot of these because, again, this is just your introduction as a professional engineer as to how you would basically use AutoCAD. So we're going to be in this range in terms of panels, draw tools, modify, annotation, and layers. Okay. Good. Of course, when I change my tab, my ribbon changes. So now I'm in the Insert tab, and then I have these panels that allows me to create blocks and do block definitions, and to that external X reference that Mrs. Kelly referred to allows me to create external X refs, okay, external references, okay, and then important data. Good. So again, when I select the tab here, of course, my ribbon changes because now this is my annotate. This is my annotate tab. And then I have these panels for creating text, for creating dimensions, and center line, other components, leader lines, tables, and all that. Good. So excuse that noise. My wife is doing laundry in the background, and our dryer is very noisy. Okay. And of course, again, as we change the panels, we're not going to get into most of these. So, but as we change the tab, of course, the ribbon changes. So let's go back to our home tab. Good. All right. Home tab. This is where we're going to spend most of our time. This is the application menu here. Okay. So if you select that, this gives you the ability to create a new drawing. Okay, so if I hover over it, let's move away from it. Okay, good. Then if I hover over it, okay, like this, then it asks me, well, what do you want to do? Well, I can create a new drawing. Okay, good. If I come down here and I hover over this one, what do you want to do? Well, I want to open a new drawing, and it gives me some other options. I can save my drawing from the application menu. Okay, I can save it. Okay, I can do a save as. I can save an existing drawing with a different file name, and then I can import, and I can export, publish, and print. Okay, and access some drawing utilities, and of course close a session of AutoCAD using the application menu. Okay, across the top here. Okay, this is. Good. Across the top here, this is the quick access menu, as you probably have become a little bit familiar with. Okay, which allows you to invoke some of the same commands that you would do by using the application menu. So if I hover over this, of course, when you hover over any icon, it's going to tell you what that icon does, and if you continue to hover over it, it's going to give you additional information relative to that icon. So now we're going to go. So I can create a new drawing. I can open an existing drawing. I can save a drawing here. I can do a save as. Open that. Okay. I can print here. Okay. And you can also customize this quick access menu to include commands that you personally use more frequently. Okay. Okay, good. So now we've covered that. Okay. Good. Of course, this area here is our workspace. Okay, our workspace. And right now it has a dark background. I'm going to show you how you can actually change the color, the background color of your workspace. So let's see, let's go to the application menu here. Okay, let's come down to options here. You can follow me, options here. Okay. It brings up this dialog box, and it has various tabs, right? Okay, right now the file tab is open. I want to open the display tab right here. So I'm going to left click on that. Good. Okay. And then I want to come over here to, okay, my window elements, right? Because this is my drawing window. Okay, my window elements here, and I want to come down to colors. Good. Okay. So right, of course, I have an arrow pointing downward, so that means I have additional options. Okay. So right now my the color of my workspace here is black. Let's say for some reason, I want to change it to yellow. Okay, I can change it to yellow, and then I can apply and close like this. Okay, and now my background color is yellow. I would never do that. Okay, because you want a dark color, so that when you draw lines and objects, you have a greater definition. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back to colors. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my drop-down list here, and I'm going to change this back to black. Cool. I'm going to apply and close. Well, I'll change it to black because I like black. Okay, it gives some more contrast. apply and close. Okay, good. So I just showed you how you could change that. Okay. Let's see. I'm doing thing with files. Okay. So while we're here in this options dialog box, okay, before we go a little further, I opened the open and save tab right here, right? Good. And of course, you're going to get into the habit as you use AutoCAD to manually save your drawing. Okay. Particularly if you're working on something complex for a duration of time, you want to make sure that you manually save it. Of course, you could come up here to this icon right here. Okay, to save. Okay, good. But whether you save it or not manually, AutoCAD is saving your work in the background for you anyway. Okay. And you can set the duration of that automatic save here. So right now, you see we have automatic save checked right here, okay? And it's saving my work every 10 minutes, okay? Of course, I can change that if I'm working on something more complex. I can change that to 5 minutes. So it would automatically save my work every 5 minutes. But the default is 10, so we're gonna change it back to 10, okay? All right. So we can okay out of that. Okay, so now we've talked about the workspace here. This is model space, right? This is model space. You see down here, this tab is highlighted because you're in model space. Of course, model space is where you're going to create all your models. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and AutoCAD is a virtual environment, meaning it's true size. So if I draw a line here, that's 1,000 feet. Well, it's 1,000 feet. Okay, because it is a virtual one-to-one virtual environment. Okay, I just control Z out of that. Okay, good. So let's come down here Oh yeah, we talked about this. You can this is your I'm gonna call it the orientation wheel here, where actually you can change the orientation of the work that you're working on. Okay, we won't look at that right now. We won't discuss that any further. Okay, but I'm just going to get to the basics. Okay, of course, this is your command line right here. This is your command line. Okay, and whenever you invoke a command, so let's say I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line. Okay, of course, I'm going to. So now the command now at the command line is asking me to establish the first point of the line. So you got to make sure that you're always looking at the command line when you invoke commands. Okay, so it's asking me for the first point. Now it's asking me for the next point. Okay. What I just did there, okay, and we'll talk about that. I use some function keys right now. I wanted to force this line into vertical, and so I into horizontal, pardon me, alignment, right? So I just use function key 8. Okay, so now it forces me to draw that line in horizontal alignment. So it was asking for the next point on my line, okay? Then ask for the next point, next point, next point, next point, next point. And then I can just close it if I want to just see close the line, okay? All right, so the command line is my friend. I'm going to control Z out of that. Okay, good. Alrighty, here, let's see where I am right here. Good. This is my model space environment. Okay, if I click on the layout, okay, The layout is my paper space environment, my paper space environment. Okay. So I'm going to draw all my models one-to-one in model space. And then when I go to actually create sheets for drawing sheets in terms of size and composition, then I'm going to go to my layout or my paper space environment, right? And that's going to allow me to produce my models at different sheet sizes and at different scales. Okay? And of course, you can have numerous layouts here. Okay. Layout number 2, and then if I wanted to add another layout, I could just select this plus sign, and it gives me another layout. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this in architectural terms. Of course, you're civil, I'm architectural, but it's the same thing. Okay, so my layout 1 could be my plan, floor plan. My layout 2 could be elevations. My layout 4 could be sections and details. Okay, for production and establishing various scales. All right, so let's go back to model space. Good. Okay, let's come down here. This is the status bar here. This is the status bar, and it allows you these commands are toggle on, toggle off. If I toggle on this, okay, I could turn the grid off. Okay, grid says grid off. If I select it again, it turns the grid on. If I hover over this, it also shows me that I can do the same thing, turning that grid on and off by selecting the F7 function key. On your keyboard, you should have some function keys from function key 1 to function key 12. So we see that function key 7 also turns that grid off or on. Okay, this is my snap mode. That's turned off right now. Okay, we'll talk about that a little. This is just a precision tool. Okay. Good. Let's go back to that one. Okay, F9 controls that. Okay, this is this icon here. This is the ortho mode. Again, and I already demonstrated that. When the ortho mode is off, then I can draw a line at any angle that I want. Okay. But if I come down here and turn that ortho mode on, okay, now I'm forced into either horizontal or vertical alignment. Okay, this is my polar tracking. We'll get into that. Probably not. Okay. All right. I'm not going to talk about these commands right here. Okay. Good. Polar tracking. I said about that. Talk about that. Okay, snap settings. We'll look in that a little bit. Okay, let's get back to what. Let's see. Okay, we'll talk about annotation scale a little bit later. Here's what I'm talking about right now. Right here. This is your workspace. Okay, let's select that. Good. Now, basically, you're going to be working in 2D. Okay, 2D. X-axis, Y-axis. Okay. However, AutoCAD has the ability to work in 3D, but you don't need that because you have Civil 3D. Okay. All right. So yes, here's what I want to illustrate though. If when I change my workspace, drafting and annotation is AutoCAD's 2D working environment. Okay. That's why it's checked, and this is where we're going to stay for this course, 2D. But if I wanted to work in 3D, if I selected the workspace, now you see how my ribbon has changed, and it's giving me tools to actually create 3D work. Okay.
Where did you go to change the workspace? My Zoom banner was over top of it.
Okay, sure. I went down here to where it says workspace switching, this like little wheel right here.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
And so like that, okay?
Gotcha.
And of course, there's some other 3D modeling environments and all that, but we want to, put it back. We'll put it back to the 2D environment, 2D environment, which is, I need some water. Wait a minute. We'll change it back to our 2D environment, which is drafting and annotation. That's where we're going to stay. Cool. Okay. Those are some of the basics. Okay. Good. Over here. Okay. This is your user coordinate system right here. Okay. And where the x-axis meets the y-axis, that's absolute coordinate 0, 0, right? So we can, as we locate objects within our model space environment, right? They're going to be relative to their position against absolute coordinate 0, 0, right here. Okay. Let's see. I can't. AutoCAD is a virtual environment. Okay. So I want you to type in the word limits at the command line. Limits. Limits. Okay. Now the lower left corner of limits. Okay, let me explain what limits are. Since AutoCAD in model space is a virtual environment, sometimes we need to limit that area so that we can position our models so that we can compose our models, that is, in model space. So we give ourselves an area of limitation, and we work within that area to compose our models. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so that's the purpose of limits. But by default, limits, the lower left corner of limits is always going to be 0, 0, right here. Okay, right here. Good. But now if I enter that, okay, now by default, AutoCAD is establishing the upper right corner. Okay, here's my lower left corner is at 0, 0. But now I'm going to establish my upper right corner, which would be someplace up here. By default, for a C-size sheet, that upper limit is going to be 12, 9. And we'll talk about sheet size momentarily. Okay, but that's what limit does. So now, if I'm drawing objects on a sheet that I know is going to be 8.5 by 11, okay, I can set my limits here, right? And then I can adjust my grid so the grid only explains to the extent of my limits, and that allows me to be able to create some work that would actually fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Okay, within that virtual environment, because I've set the limits to confine me. Okay. All right, so let's escape out of that. Cool. Cool. All right, I think that's all I want to share right now, basically. Okay, until we move on, as we do more work, we'll look at more commands. All right. So let's see what we're going to do. Any questions about that? I'm sure some of you have already played around with it, but I just wanted to basically review it together collectively. Any questions? Cool. All right. See, where do I want to go now? I want to go to, okay, let's go to D12. Let's go to drawing sheets here. Let's go to drawing sheets. Time is going to be, okay, it's 11:24. Okay, let's go to drawing sheets. Right here. Cool. And let's open up this PDF here, right here. Now, AutoCAD has the industry has standard sheet sizes relative to a particular discipline, okay? And when I say discipline, what I'm talking about mechanical drawings, okay? Some metric sheets if you're doing any kind of anything other than empirical, okay? Architectural, okay? And of course, this is where you are, civil, okay? So when you look at typical civil sheet sizes, okay? I called it a C-size sheet before, but that wasn't correct, okay? They're denoted alphabetically in terms of size. So a size civil sheet would be 11 by 8.5, okay? Which has an approximate drawing area. That's the area that you would actually have to create your model, excluding any kind of title block, okay? So of course, the approximate drawing area is always going to be less than the actual sheet size itself. So an A-size sheet is 11, an A-size civil sheet is 11 by 8.5. A B-size sheet is 17 by 11. This is just informational. A C-size sheet is 22 by 17. A D-size sheet is 34 by 22. This is probably the size that you're going to be working with if you work for a firm, okay, typically speaking, a D-size sheet. Okay, and then an E-size sheet measures to be 44 by 34. Okay, I just want to make the comparison between the civil sheet sizes and the mechanical sheet sizes, which are essentially the same. So an A-size sheet mechanically, between mechanical and civil drawings are the same. Okay. They're the same. All right, so let's see if I can go back one level without going all the way out. Nope, I didn't want to do that. I should have went to the breadcrumb, but that's okay. All right. All right. So I think what we're going to do now, we just covered sheet sizes. Let's do a little bit of drawing now. Let's do some drawing. All right. So I want you to open up creating a 8.5 by 11 title block. I want you to open this up, okay? And then I want you to print. I want you to print this layer setup PDF, and I want you to print this 11 by 17 title block PDF. I want you to print both of those out, please. Okay. So I'm just going to download. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to download it for printing. I'm just going to open it up. Download it, open it up. Come up to the top here, move this out of my way. Print it. Good. Okay, go back to this breadcrumb. Okay, I'm also gonna print the 11 by 17 title block. Cool. Just gonna download it. Open it up. Come back up to the top, print it out. Okay. Close it out. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back to AutoCAD. I'll give you a moment to do all that. Okay, are we all basically on the same page?
So, Mr. Williams, I'm not
Yes.
able to print the 11 by 17.
Okay, you just have to make, oh, no, just print it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, okay?
Yeah, I'm kind of out of printer ink. Is it okay if I print it at a later date?
Oh, sure. I just wanted you to use it as a point of reference, so you just have to go back and forth, that's all. Okay. Yeah, you can print it at a later date. Okay, so now, I did print mine out. If you have a dual screen, you don't need to print it out. If you have dual screens. So if you have a dual screen, you can have AutoCAD on one screen and you can have your PDFs on the other screen. All righty. So we should be all back at AutoCAD, and we should have the home ribbon expanded here, okay, because this is where we're going to start, okay? And what we're going to do now, we're going to start a new drawing, okay? Start a new drawing. So, so let's go to the application menu up here. Okay, let's hover over new, and let's start a new drawing. Okay. Now, it brings you to this dialog box. This is important. Okay, now because AutoCAD wants to know now, okay, you're about to create a new drawing. So what template file do you want to use to open to create this new drawing with? Okay, right? Every drawing has a template file. When you work for a firm, they're going to have their standard template files for creating their production drawings, okay? But so every drawing has a template. And of course, that template style differs from firm to firm, whatever. Okay, but now, what we're going to use for this particular drawing is, if you, the file name down here, you see it says ACAD. That is the default mechanical template, and that's what we're going to use, okay? So it's already selected for us. If I was going to use a different one, I would select it here. I would choose which one I want to use, okay? But it's already selected for us because it's there by default, okay? So it's already selected, so all I got to do is say, yes, I want to create this drawing using the ACAD default mechanical template. So I just open it up like this. Good, and you see it created drawing 3 right here for me. Drawing 3, cool. So let's go ahead and create that drawing. Okay. Again, we're just looking at basic commands, just basic commands right now, okay? All right. I want you to type in the word units at the command line, units, 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 good. Okay. And that brings up the drawing units, which is giving us the length type, which is all for mechanically speaking, okay? As I'm talking about this, mechanical and civil is going to be very, very similar in terms of drawing units, okay? So usually the length type is decimals, the insertion scale is in inches, okay? Mechanical is decimal degrees. When you actually start our little legal description later on, we're going to be using surveyors units for our angle type, but right now we're going to keep it mechanical. Okay, good. And lighting and international, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so I just want you to show you what the units for a mechanical template drawing looks like. Template file. Okay, good. So let's just okay out of that. Cool. All righty. Now, what we're about to do now, we're about to create the layers for this title block that we're about to create. Okay, the layers for it. Okay, and of course we are putting items on different layers is just a organizational drawing technique, right? That helps us to organize and segregate certain parts of a design that needs to be segregated from others, okay? And we give them typically distinctive colors so that we can immediately tell what item is on a particular layer. So and to do that, here's what we're going to do. I want you to make reference to the layer properties PDF that you printed out or is making reference to, okay? We see that we're going to be creating these. How many layers? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, okay? All right. We're going to be creating a title block layer that has a magenta color and a certain line type, okay? Object layer, hidden layer, center lines, and text, and a non-plot layer. Okay, we're going to do that. So now, in order to create those layers, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go to the layer properties menu right here. And we're going to select that. Good. And that's going to bring up this dialog box. Okay. Now, by default, let me see, I can expand this here. Let's see. If I bring my little cursor over here like this and I expand that, okay, and I can expand that. That's status, okay, and then I can expand that. And tells me whether the layer is on or off, whether it's frozen, whether it's locked, whether it's plottable, what color it has, what line type it has, and what line weight it has, okay? So by default, when you create a new drawing, AutoCAD automatically creates layer 0 for you. And that's pretty good. That's good because when you go to create blocks and other things like that, which you probably will probably become familiar with, that is, all blocks are created on layer 0 initially. All right, so what we're going to do though, we're going to create our first layer. So now let's go. So if I go to this icon right here and I hover over it right here, see what it says? It says new layer, okay, new layer. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and select that, left click on that, good. Now this is what I want you to notice this too, right? My layer 0 has a big check to it, right? And that means that's my current layer. So when I look up here, see right here, right? This is telling me right here that layer 0 is my current layer, okay? Good. Now, since it was my current layer, when I created a new layer, guess what that new layer did? It took on the properties of layer 0. So we see that the colors, if I expand this a little bit more, you see it took on the color white, it took on the line type continuous, and it took on the line weight of the default line weight, okay? So that's kind of good to know. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna rename the layer. Okay. And we're going to rename it title block. You can do all caps, whatever you want to do. That doesn't make a difference. Good. The only other parameter that we need to change is the color. All right. So we have title block. I'm going to come over here to color, and I'm going to be right here. Good. It brings up this color chart. Okay. Now I don't know what magenta looks like, right? So I don't have to. I can just come over here. Well, I do know what it looks like, but in case I didn't. Okay, I can just type the magenta here. Okay. this is just basic AutoCAD stuff, okay? Just basic stuff, all right? And then the next thing I have to change is, perhaps not, is the line type. Okay, the line type is already continuous, so I do not have to change that. Good, so I'm good with that one. I can make this one my current one if I wanted to. I didn't have to do that. Okay. So now I want to make the next layer, which is going to be the object layer. Okay, so I'm going to compare it to this icon. Good. So you see how it took on all of the parameters of the previous title block layer. You know, all I got to do now, I got to change the name. Good. Then what is the color? The color is red. So I'm going to go over here. I know what the red looks like. Good. And the line weight is still continuous. Okay. So now I'm going to do one more with the red, and I'm going to let you go ahead and do the others. Okay. All right. So, but you see when I checked the title block layer here as my current layer, it shows it as my current layer right here. Okay. Cool. So you can always know what layer that you're currently working on by looking here. Okay, cool. All right. So let's create one more together. Okay, let's go back here to. Okay, good. Let's create the hidden layer. Okay, cool. And the color is blue, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to change it to blue. Aha. All right, but now it has a different line type. It has a hidden line type. All right, so let's see if I, good. All right, so when I clicked on it, I see that the line type is not part of this particular session of AutoCAD or this drawing. So I'm going to close, I'm going to go to load here. So I have to load this line type because it's not present. So I'm going to go to load. Okay. And these are the default line types in alphabetical order. Okay. So I'm going to come, let's go scroll down until I get to the hidden. Okay. Good. And I see I have several options in terms of hidden lines. I have a hidden line, and then I have a hidden line 2, then I have a hidden X2. Mine is just hidden, so I'm going to choose this here. Okay. I'm going to OK it. Aha, so now I've loaded it into this particular drawing, all right? So now I can choose this. Now that it's loaded. Okay, cool. All right, good. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and to create the other layers. Create the center line layer. You're going to have to load that. You're going to have to load the center line type. And then the non-plot layer, I'm going to show you how you're going to make it non-plottable. Okay, so don't worry about the depth points layer. Okay, depth points is the default AutoCAD non-plottable layer, but we're not going to create that. We're going to create our own non-plottable layer named non-plot. Okay, so just go ahead and do that. And that's really when you do that, then I'm going to come back and you want to save this drawing. And that's going to be the last thing that we're going to do for this session. Okay, so I'm going to let you go ahead and create the layers. How many people have already created the layers already? I know people have. Hello?
For some reason, it won't let me add a new layer.
It won't?
Like like the box is grayed out. I'm like, it won't let me hit the button to create a new layer for some reason.
Okay. Can you share your screen with me? Good. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here. Okay. Now, so now I'm looking at your screen. All right. Okay. So why is it? Okay, it won't let you add a layer, huh?
Yeah, I like it's grayed out for some reason and I
Yeah.
can't click
Yeah.
it.
Let me see. Could be. See.
Mine did the same thing. I just hit right click and then new layer.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
See, I don't. It's grayed out. It's grayed out for me.
Yours is grayed out too. Okay. All right. Here. I'll close out of that dialog box. Okay. Now, open it again. Okay.
Yeah, it still won't let me.
Okay, I see. I wonder is the okay. Let could you stop sharing for a second, Gabby?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to look at the see if any of my settings were strange. Okay. Now, sometimes this happens. Gabby, what I want you to do, because it should work. I want you to exit out of AutoCAD and come back into AutoCAD. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then see if that works. Okay.
Okay.
When many times when things should work and they're not working, we just reboot and it works. Okay. So let's try that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so the rest of you should be completing those adding those layers. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and add them as well. So what I'm gonna do, which one I need next? I need to add a new layer. So I'm gonna come over here, and that layer is gonna be center line. Okay, it's yellow in color. Okay, and it has a center. Okay, it's okay. Letter and color. Okay, but I'm going to come over here. I need to load that center line layer type. So center right there. Cool. Okay, and I can choose it. Okay. There we go. And then the next, I need to create a text layer. Okay, and that color is green. Green. Well, oh my God, I do have trouble with greens, so I'll just type it in. Okay, green. Cool. And the line type is continuous, so I need to come here. Okay, let's make it continuous. Cool. All right, and then last, okay. Oh, the last one I want to show you is how to make a non-plot layer non-plottable. Okay, so let's make a new layer here. Okay, cool, and it's going to be called non-plot. Okay, cool. And it's It's going to be white in color. Good. And it's going to be continuous. Okay, now it's going to be white in color. Now, but I want it to be non-plottable. What that means is that when you're drawing an object on a non-plottable layer in model space, okay, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it. However, when you go to paper space, your production environment, okay, and you go to view it, it will not reproduce or be visible in paper space. It will be visible in model space, but not visible in paper space. Okay, that's what that means. All right. So in order to make it, even though I named it non-plot here, it is not, it is still plottable. The only way I can make it non-plottable is I go to this to this column right here. Okay, and I left click on this icon right here. And I get this red circle with a line through it, okay? Now it is non-plottable, okay? If that's not checked, it's gonna plot. But now that I checked it, it's gonna be non-plottable, okay? So go ahead and add all the layers. And then the last thing I'm gonna show you how to do is to save this drawing. Save this drawing. Because right now it's just drawing 3. Okay, and we have 6 minutes to do so, all right? So here's what you're going to do. Okay, I've created all the layers. I can close out of this dialog box right here. Good. Now, I want to save this drawing so that I can retrieve it the next time and continue with it. All right, so I'm going to come over here to the application button. Okay, and I'm going to go save. Application button, save. Okay, now it's going to bring up this dialog box. Okay, now the first thing it wants to know is where do you want to save the drawing? Okay, I don't want to save it in documents. I want to save it in my CET 220 folder. So let's see if I can find it. There it is. Okay, CET 220, that's where I want to save it. Well, there we go. So now it's saved. It's going to be saved in that folder. Now it's asking me. Now I have to rename it. And please note here, okay, when you start a new drawing, okay, AutoCAD normally gives it, when you create a new drawing, AutoCAD normally gives it a DWG extension. You don't have to add that, okay? Okay. It will place a DWG extension to a drawing that you save, okay? So you can identify it as a drawing file, okay? But so now let's do this. I'm going to rename it this way. I'm going to name it, and we all going to rename it the same way. CET, okay? 220, okay? Dash. My first initial, okay, dash, okay, my last name. Every office have their file saving standards, okay, so that everybody knows them and nobody creates their own, okay, all right. So CET 220-J, my first initial. Last name, dash, and I'm just going to call it no, I'm going to call it that. I'm going to call it 11 by 8.5 title block. See if they're gonna let me name it that long. Okay. Okay. CET 220 dash, first initial, dash, last name, dash 11 by 8.5 title block. Let's see if it's gonna let me save it. It did, okay? So you see now here is changed from drawing 3 to CET 220 dash J dash Williams dash 11. Okay, cool.
One more time, could you say what you named it as?
Okay, it's right here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, CET 220. Okay, dash your first initial, dash your last name, dash 11 by 8.5 title block.
Where are we saving it to?
You should have created a folder. You can a folder in your documents called CET 220.
Okay.
Create that folder first and then save the drawing to that folder with that file name. Was that you, Gabby?
Yeah, I got it to work.
Yeah, I figured you did. This exercise is just showing you how you would create layers. I mean, as professional engineers, you're probably not going to do a whole lot of drafting, but at least you will know how to create a layer if you needed to create a layer, and how to apply parameters to a particular layer. Okay, now when you have, we're about to close out this session of AutoCAD here. Okay, now there's several ways to close out, but I want us to do it this way. If you come over here, well, if you close out globally, it's going to ask, we can close out globally and that will close out everything, but then it will ask you, do you want to save certain drawings, all right? Do you want to save certain drawings, okay? And of course, you're going to say yes. Or we can close a drawing individually here, globally here, in the session globally here, or individual here. Okay, so let's see. Let's do it globally. Okay, let's do it globally. See what happens. Okay, good. Okay, now it's asking me, do I want to save drawing number 1? No, I don't want to save that one. Okay. Okay, what I want us to do now, let's see, let me share, because my share stopped. Let me share it with you. Okay, what I want to do. Let's go here. I'm going to go to Okay. I want you to go to your, good. I want you to go and check and go to now you were to your CET 220 folder, wherever you saved it. I saved mine in my documents. Good. Okay, and here's my CET2 folder. Okay, good. Good. And then I just wanted to make sure that my drawing file was saved to the right place, and here it is. Okay, I saved it to this folder. Here it is there. Cool. You might want to do wherever you saved it. You might want to go and check and make sure that it's there. All right. So now, when we come back on next Friday, we can go ahead and just open up this drawing here, okay, from AutoCAD, and continue to work on it. Okay. Are there any questions?
I think I'm good.
You're good. All right. I have, if you're not good, I have recorded this session, and you can go back and you can review it. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So with that, everybody have a good weekend, and see you next week.
Thank
See
you.
you.
You too.
Thank you. See you.
Okay, take care.